Well, hello there. No, this isn't the show at all. What this is a call to action. A call to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, by the way, please, if you can, head over to Apple, Spotify, Podcast Addict, or wherever you are listening to this awesome show. Click on that 5-star rating. Tell everyone in your orbit about it. Do whatever you have to do to make them listen and continue to listen to the show. All within reason, of course. Together, we can grow this show into something amazing. Thank you all for what you do out there. Now back to the fun. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I am here. It's hot in this studio. I got the air conditioner running, so you're going to hear some noise in the background. Hopefully, I can minimize it. Hopefully, it'll sound okay. So, yesterday was the whole deal with Charlie Kirk, and it made me think a little bit more on it. And I don't really want to discuss it. I just want to put it out there that I've really, it's really made me think about how to go forward with what I'm doing and whether or not I'm making a quote unquote difference in the world, as they say. So for those of you that have been listening to me for a while, you've probably heard this before in various forms where I start to think about the different ways that of the show and where I'm at with the show and how I want to treat the show and et cetera, et cetera. And you've heard me say multiple times where I'm going to say whatever I want. I don't care. F this. Or, I'm only going to do stories that I like or things that I know a little bit more about and try to avoid these things and that things. And I've only got X amount of statistical data of the show, and it doesn't show that I'm growing, and it's really sad, and everybody got to help me out, blah, blah, blah. You guys have heard this all before if you've been listening to me for years. But I'm not going to do that again. I'm just going to go on. But it just made me really think about my effect on life, I guess. I guess that's the best way I can say it. And whether or not I'm actually turning hearts and minds or the tide or whatever. So with that said, let's just get into this. Today's show is things that are in my wheelhouse, like actually in my wheelhouse. And I thought, why not, have some fun? My resume is as such. I've been in the beverage industry for 26 years. I've seen a lot of stuff in California. I've serviced the area from northern to southern, a little bit of the central parts of California, big city, small city, etc. And I figured might as well. I figured that maybe Tuesday is the day I talk about things I actually am involved in, and maybe continue down this path. I don't really know. I don't really know. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with beverageindustry.com. I'm going to go with foodbev.com. Wall Street Journal has a piece on some other deals in other industries that I've never known about. Then I got some CNN articles that kind of go a little bit more into um, the industry, some of the things that have been going on. So I'm just, it's basically going through this here. This is basically the top mergers of this year and what's been going on with them. So, um, let's just let's get into food. Let's get into the beverageindustry.com. Let's do that first. So the 2025 wholesaler of the year is Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, a family-led wholesaler. Um, they are continuing the next generation of leadership. They have a footprint that spans 47 markets, along with international markets in Canada, the Caribbean, Central America, South America, as well as the travel retailer and cruise sector. They are staying on the top of the market by delivering exceptional service, insights, innovation. I've heard of this company, and every, eh, I don't hear anything negative about them. They seem to be a very positive company. A lot of good stuff comes out of there. A lot of the employees, a lot of these employees that I've come across over the years, they seem to like the place. So, congratulations on wholesaler of the year. I really, from the beverage industry website, they deserve it. They really do. That from if I've never worked for them, but everybody that I've come across, they seem to like the place. Um, so Pepsi bought Celsius a long time ago. They are now completing the rest of the deal to move the rest of the Celsius Holdings beverages into the U.S. Canada distribution market. So Alani is a another one of those healthy drinks, I guess you can say. Um, they are being dragged in as well. They're being moved into that, so they're going to come off of in the area that I work in. It's handled by a beer distributor. So Pepsi will be taking over Alani in my excuse me, in my district, I guess you can say. And I don't know how good this drink is. I've tried a couple of them. I know that they really do make you go to the bathroom. They really clean out the system. Not sure what chemicals are in there, but uh, some say it's a workout drink. Like I said, I've never really gotten too deep into the Alanis. I know Celsius, in my opinion, is a garbage drink. They have like 5,000 flavors, and it's a promotion. They really promote another one of those workout energy pick me up type things, but kind of like a 5 hour energy drink. The only difference is this stuff really doesn't taste good. I have never met a person that has said this is the best drink ever. Like so far, there's a lot of this one sucks. This one's pretty decent. This one's all right. Um, I've had the peach vibe. That one, it's tolerable, but they've had like this galaxy thing and this cosmic drink, and it just it doesn't uh it doesn't bring anything out of me to where I want to drink it repeatedly. But I'm sure there's a Celsius listener. If you, by all means, let me know in the comments what you think about Celsius and Alani and what's good or bad, about it. I've talked about this before. The Dr. Pepper acquisition of JDE Pete's, and they're going to go ahead and split that up into two companies. Things like that. Uh, this one I didn't know about, but Generous Brands is acquiring Health Aid Kombucha for about $1 billion. The Generous Brands announced that it has signed a definitive agreement to acquire Health Aid from private equity firm First Bev and Manitree Partners, who will continue on as minority shareholders in the Generous Brands family. Um, Not familiar with kombucha at all. I see it a lot. It moves very well in the industry. This is this seems like a decent deal. I mean, Generous Brands is a company that is in that space. They're getting more footprint, more shelf, more cooler. It might be a thing. Um, and then of course the big drop that happened back in May was PepsiCo completing their deal for Poppy because they really needed to get into the health health soda space. You know, the high fiber, low carb, low sugar sodas that seem to be all the rage. Highly expensive for a 4-pack, by the way, but they finished it off. They got it done. 1.9 billion, including 300 million of anticipated cash tax benefits for a net purchase of 165 billion. The transaction also includes a performance-based earn-out contingent on achieving certain metrics. Oh dear. I didn't. Okay. All right. All right. Pepsi has tried this before with the drink Bang, where they threw a bunch of money at this company, and and to complete the sale, they had to get performance metrics met, and it didn't happen. And Bang took them to court, and it was a settlement buyout type deal. Then Bang went bankrupt, and then Coca-Cola came in and bought them out on an auction for like 200 or 300 million. This has happened before, and I'm so the fact that Poppy um uh threw that in performance based earnouts on certain metrics and things, it makes me wonder. Now, it makes me wonder if they don't hit it, if that is a cancellation of the agreement, and Poppy comes back out on itself on its own. So Pepsi that okay, that explains why they're pushing the shit out of it right now. That really does. Alani has passed $1 billion in retail sales. Celsius Holdings announced back in April that Alani Nu has passed $1 billion in retail sales for the trailing 52-week period. Again, this drink moves, but I don't know, man. People like it. I don't know. People like it. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it like we'll just again in the comment section, guys. If you think this thing is awesome, let me know and kind of make the case. I don't see it as a beverage. I mean, maybe if you cut down some maybe if you cut down some SKUs, maybe get it down to a few beverage. I don't know, something. Let me know. I don't know. I do. Let me know. The wine group is acquiring wine brands production facilities from Constellation Brands. Uh, it is a wine portfolio priced at about $15 and above. They're out of Livermore, California. They're entered into an agreement with Constellation Brands to acquire several wine brands: Cook's, J. Roger, Miamo, Robert Mondavi, Private Selection, SIMI, and Woodbridge. I'm not a wine person. I have no idea. I'm not going to comment other than to report that a lot of this stuff has happened. So same thing with Castillo, Hermanos. He's acquired. They are set to acquire Harvest Hill Beverage Company. Um, it's another one of those alcohol things. I'm not real well versed in that part of the space. I've never have. I've never actually, dove into it. So take it for what it is. I mean, Infinitum Spirits is buying. They are buying the Howler Head. This is a San Diego-based company. They are acquiring Howler Head, a Kentucky bourbon with natural banana flavor. I've never had that. That sounds gross. Banana whiskey? I don't know about that one. I just don't know about that one. Okay, so let's keep this going. Foodbev.com. This is all of the mergers here are from 2024, so they're recent mergers. They're about a year into their deals, but the financial side of it, it's all in euros and pounds. So I'm just going to say that up front, and I'm going to put the KFC Holdings Japan is getting 65% of their company bought by the Carlyle Group for 579 million pounds or euros. I'm not sure how that works, so I'm just going to say 579 million. It's all European dollars. Not sure what that is, and that's the whole article is this way. So basically, a fast food chain, KFC in Japan, they have lost control of their company. I expect the rest of that to get bought out or changes to get made to the growth to ensure its growth, and I'm sure they're going to want their money back. New Lot Foods acquisition of Princes. This is a complete buyout for 700 million. I said pounds, I guess. They're a UK-based manufacturer of food and drinks, so they do almost canned. It looks like they do canned foods like cherries, tuna, corned beef and hash, things like that. And then they also have orange juice, apple juice, stuff like that. The acquisition marks a strategic expansion into the UK market for New Lot, broadening its product portfolio and distribution capabilities in both food and beverage sectors. So that is telling me that the Prince's probably has a bottling plant, maybe a canning plant somewhere in the area, and New Lot Foods is looking to basically set up shop in the UK and have easier way of distribution. And I guess Prince's was easy pickings. Another complete acquisition for 762 million pounds is the Emmy Holdings purchase of the Mademoiselle Desserts. Ooh, a French manufacturer, a France-based manufacturer of desserts. The acquisition enhances its dessert offerings and strengthens its position in the European market for premium baked goods. So it sounds like Emmy Holdings is also doing exactly what New Lot Foods is doing and trying to control as much of the dessert space as possible. CVC Advisors acquisition of Monbake Grupo for 772 million. A lot of these companies aren't going for no more than 800 million. That's very surprising to me. This is a frozen bakery. This is a Spain-based provider of frozen goods for baking. The acquisition allows them to further consolidate its presence in the European frozen bakery market, capitalizing on Monbake's established distribution network and product range. I'm very surprised. Are these guys? I'm not into European business side of any of this. Obviously, I'm not, being I'm in America. So I'm actually curious. Are these companies that are retiring and just wanting to they're just unloading on, or are they just succumbing to the economy? It's very interesting. I kind of curious how that works. Holding Ledouf. Well, this is a bakery buying a bakery. Patrick's Holdings is a Netherlands-based bakery products manufacturer. The acquisition from Ledouf, it just enhancing position in the market, more shelf space, couple of distribution networks, and this one actually went for almost over 800 million. Uh, People like their bread, man. Shit, that's all I can say. A 50% stake, immediate capital group stake in Product Sur is a Spain-based Product Sur, a Spain-based producer of natural foods, went for 853 million just for 50%. So the idea behind this capital group's investment, because they're not exactly business, they're not a business like buying a business. They are a investment group unloading a lot of money into a company. It looks like they are interested in owning this thing at some point because they're not exactly 51, 52%. They went in at about 49 and a half. I honestly don't see this as any more than a company getting crushed and getting pieced out for a couple of bucks. Another one here. We got EKTO Holdings. They bought another 49% stake in the Bell Food Production, $1.1 billion billion pound, whatever, European money. A Belarus-based baby food company. The acquisition of a significant stake in the Bell Food Production indicates a focus on growing baby food market in Eastern Europe. The move taps into increasing consumer preference for healthy and nutritious options for the kids. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I am going to try to look these up, within another year or so and see what happens. But an Italian-based frozen foods company has been purchased for $1.18 billion from a company called Invest Industrial. The acquisition aligns with Invest Industrial's strategy to invest in high-quality food brands, leveraging the Forno de Oslo's position in the frozen bakery sector, to expand into new markets and capitalize on growing demand for convenience food. Okay, we'll see how that goes. And there's so much more. This stuff is there's a lot of this. A lot of food companies. Here's one here that I think is interesting. In a Thai beverage and Interbev investments, they bought 41% of Fraser and Neve. This is a soda company I didn't know existed, and they're in Singapore. And to get 41.3% stake in that company, it'll cost you $3.3 billion. The investment here allows the Thai beverage company to further penetrate the Asian market, particularly in dairy and non-alcoholic drinks. This strategic stake enhances regional footprint and diversifies portfolio. You know what? I concur. That's exactly what's happening. What's happening is this Thai beverage and Interbev investment group is really just putting their nose out there. Bravo. Primo Water has been bought out. Okay, so this I drink because it is the water company that I use at my house. I guess they've been bought out by Blue Triton Brands, 100%, $3.6 billion. I didn't know Primo Water was worth that much. It's the big jugs you put into the machine, and so interesting. It's Blue Triton. I'd have to look into that. Are they going to change? Are they going to change the way my water is being made? I'm wondering. Another one for $3.3 billion. Carlsberg has bought Britvic, which is a beverage company that produces other people's stuff. They're a bottler that does some of Pepsi's things and Purdy's um, uh, water and hydro something water, drenched juice, Tango juice, etc. And this is basically to expand its footprint. So Carlsberg is looking to take up some shelf space, and the big one, which we're going to get into, is Mars buying Kellanova for 28 billion, which I do have a full article on that we're going to get into right now. So Mars agrees to buy the Pringles maker Kellanova in a $36 billion deal. Now now it's 28 billion euro European. I don't know if it's francs or what. Not, I mean pounds or euros, but if you were to go into the American money, it's $36 billion. All right. Mars has agreed to buy Kellanova in a deal that values the maker of the Cheez-It and Pringles at almost 29 billion. Kellanova said in a regulatory filing that its shareholders would receive $83.50 per share in cash and a 33% premium to the stock's closing price before Reuters first reported the news of a possible takeover, including debt in a deal that is worth. The deal is fully worth at 35.9 billion. The mega deal will create a global snack behemoth, adding a bevy of new nibbles to Mars's portfolio of brands, which is also including Snickers, M&Ms, the Mars bar. Kellanova brand significantly expands our snacking platform, allowing us to even more effectively meet consumer needs and drive profitable business growth, said Andrew Clark, the global president of Mars Snack King. Shares in Kellanova created when Kellogg Company separated its snack and cereal business that late last year were up about 8% in pre-market trading. The stock has surged some 28% this month on better than expected earnings after news of the deal surfaced. Kellanova, which also makes Pop-Tarts, Eggo waffles, Morningstar Farm vegan and vegetarian food, earlier this month raised its sales forecast after reporting strong first half results. The deal unveiled Wednesday, one of the biggest takeovers of the year, comes as consumers turn increasingly health conscious, prompting food groups such as Nestle to develop products aimed at helping people manage their weight. Consumers are also cutting back on non-essential spending as inflation and high interest rates take a bite out of their budget, hurting the sales of McDonald's, Burger King, and Starbucks. Still, Mars and Kellanova see plenty of scope for growth in snacks. Quote, snacking is a large, attractive, and durable category that continues to grow in importance with consumers. Kellanova's acquisition ranks in the top 10 global food and beverage mergers since 1995, according to Deal Logic. It is the fourth largest merger and acquisition deal so far this year and will add $2 billion brands, Pringles and Cheez-Its, to a list of 15 brands already owned by the Mars company. Family-owned Mars, which boasts an annual sales of $50 billion and a global workforce of 150,000, has been on a buying spree in recent years. In 2020, it snapped up the company behind the Kind bars and later Nature's Bakery. 2 years after that, it bought the True Fruit, which makes chocolate-covered fruit snacks. And last year, it spent more than $500 million on boutique British chocolate maker Hotel Chocolat. The Kellanova deal is expected to close in the first half of the following year, subject to shareholder approval, etc. Crazy. Like, this has been going on a lot too, as the economy has gone flat. You see a lot of this. I've seen a lot of this. A lot of major companies scooping up mid-sized companies to try to expand their sales because their initial products aren't doing well. So for Mars to go, Mars has, I didn't know they were this aggressive, but since 2020, they have been on a fucking tear. I feel like that's when the quality goes down. Because the more shit you buy, the more crap you have to maintain and manage, the more the chocolate kind of gets gross. The waffles get a little cheap. Quality control gets a little bit of a, kick to the side. Stuff melts a lot faster. It just, I just feel like I don't feel. Do you think it's a good thing, guys, when people do that? When companies do this buying spree, I mean, then you got obviously activist investors with the whole thing Pepsi's dealing with, where guys just coming in there saying, "Look at my money, do as I say," and we'll see how that happened, comes of it. But this is one thing to watch. I didn't know I honestly didn't know Mars was chucking cash around like that, but they bought up a couple of things. Anyway, guys, that is it. That is the show. We did a little run through the beverage and food industry, thing that I work in, and also a little snippet here I'll include in the show notes. CNN is also reporting that Kraft Foods and Heinz Ketchup, the merger that happened not too long ago, they're divorcing. They are 100% not happy with each other. And they're all they're agreeing to part ways. It's like a marriage gone wrong. So look for those two companies to try to expand in a different way, because this one didn't work. That's it, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. I will see you tomorrow. Later.